Hello, my name is James. It's September 2017. I'm reviewing the newly released Cathy McClelland's The Star Tarot. It's just was released this summer. The artist had originally done the Major Arcana a few years ago, and then she has finished with adding the Minor Arcana and has published this new tarot deck. So this video is going to be all about, I'm going to review the book that came. I'm going to review the box that it came in. I'm going to review the cards as well. And at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about a surprise. And hopefully you'll last long enough and I'll keep your attention all the way to the end. So quickly, I'm just going to review the box that everything came in. It's very strongly made box, well laid out. It has a picture of the World Tarot on the front. And in the middle, it has another picture of animals, which is quite numerous in a lot of her cards. And it has a little pocket for the card to sit in. This would reside very nicely on your shelf or just hold your cards. Whatever you please, it is very well made. Okay, so the book is a little different. Instead of most books, they go by suits. Wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. This book lays it out by first the Major Arcana, which is very consistent with other books. However, it then goes into listing all of the cards in numerical order. So all the aces are together, all the twos and threes and fours, all the way up to the court cards. And there's a slight change in the deck in the court cards, and I rather like it. So I'm going to leave that for you to determine. So let me go into the book itself. I'm going to read you the foreword of Mary Greer, which I think sums up this deck really nicely. With so many new decks appearing, what makes one deck stand out from the rest? Innovation, artistic quality, symbolic significance. The Star Tarot has all of these. Additionally, with the Star Tarot, be prepared to enter another world. A star-studded realm of such vibrancy and aliveness that it will take your breath away. And I agree. The cards are extremely colorful and they are vibrant. They are a little larger than most decks. And it's really to do with the border that surrounds the deck, the card, the picture. And that's okay. It makes it a little larger than the Rider Rake deck, which is, fairly standard. So it's just a little bigger. And like I said, all it is the border that surrounds the card. And here is the Ace of Wands, and you can see it's quite colorful. I'll review all the cards shortly. So in the deck, she has a chapter. Each card has moon phases in it, and as well as astrological symbols like Scorpio, Aries associated with each card. And what I like, so let's just, for example, flip over to and I'll just pick one randomly. So let's say the twos. So she'll give a brief introduction of the twos at the beginning, and she'll have it, and it's really nicely laid out. And she talks about the 2, 3, 4s as primary growth, and then she gets into like the 5s and 6s, which is like balance, and all the way up. And so I really like that with the cards. So another thing I like, when she sums up the 2 of Wands, she'll talk about the astrological symbol, the degrees in Aries, and she'll talk about the lunar cycle. And what I really like is she then lists 3 key words of the 2 of Wands. So many of you who are novice at learning the tarot cards, these buzzwords are great for a fast reference, because really you're using your intuitive when you read your tarot cards. So this allows you to quickly glance at it, and then she goes into a full page all about the card and what the symbols are on the card. So it's quite in-depth. So I couldn't finish this review without talking about the court cards. So we still have the King, Queen, Jack. Or sorry, King, Queen, knight, not jack. I think of cups. But the change is now we have a prince and princess. And I actually kind of like this, and she explains why she did that in the book. And so I'll leave that for you to read. And so without any more about the book, I'm going to lead into the cards. I hope you enjoy what I've done, and then the surprise at the end. So here's my review of all the cards. I've laid them all out on the bed, and that's sort of like a big glance at all the cards. And I'm going to just zoom in a bit. You probably can't tell because it's rather dark in here, but the cards have a real blue color to them, and really colorful, and you can see some of the images better online at Cathy's website. And it's, as you can see, lots of different imagery, symbols, fantasies, animals, Aboriginal. It's really an excellent deck. So I just wanted to show you all the cards laid out. And then what you will notice, I forgot to explain at the beginning, is her deck's just slightly different. She has a Prince of Wands, a Princess of Cups, a Prince of Swords, and a Princess of Pentacles. So, slightly different than other decks. I just want to give you a size comparison. Here's a normal Rider-Waite deck. And you can see it's the border that makes it a little larger. It fits perfectly in my hand. I have rather a large hand, but there's a good close-up of the vibrancy of the colors and the blueness. So the cards are a little larger, and that's due to the border. And you can see she outlines the border with the suit and what it is. So again, very good. I think that's all I'm going to do with the cards for now. I hope you enjoyed a very quick overlay, and then we'll go on to the next step. As promised, here's my surprise that I added to the end. When we get a new tarot deck, many of us have some rituals that we go through, or you know, we rip open the package and we have our cards and we glance at them. Like I said in the previous part about laying out all the cards and looking at them all and getting a feel for it. Many people will knock on the deck to get any energy out. Some people will sleep on their decks. Others will have put a crystal on their deck, whatever your ritual is. However, there is a slightly different ritual which I'd like to introduce you to. And I have copied this from the Daily Tarot Girl, and you can go visit her website. She has lots of free information, and she teaches a tarot reading course, which I took and thoroughly enjoyed. And I recommend her to anybody who wants to learn about tarot. And I've asked her permission to use this extract from her website. So it's a little playful, so bear with me. So step number 1, stop asking your tarot cards questions. Show some appreciation for your cards. You can imagine your tarot deck is probably tired of hearing you ask the same old questions again and again. I know for a fact that if my deck were a person, it would be sighing and rolling its eyes. Oh, here we go again. Try this instead of asking your tarot card deck question. Tell it something. Hold it in your hands. Get a sense of its energy, which is really important for intuitive. Its vibe. And talk to it. How much you like the cards, how pretty it is, how much fun you want to have with it. Just communicate with the deck and talk with it. And, you know, that's another ritual we can do. You can also demonstrate your respect by wrapping it in silk cloth. And some people even sleep with their decks. I tried that the other night. I didn't get a good night's sleep. I had to constantly think of positive energy all night long. Anyway, I didn't get a good night's sleep last night. But anyway, it doesn't, whatever your ritual is, go for it. So step 2, and I really like the following steps, and I really recommend that you do it. Make a date. Okay, this is more a girl guy thing, but make a date with your tarot card. Take the time to ask it some juicy questions about itself. For each question, draw a card and answer it, and record your impersonations in a tarot journal. And here are some possible questions that she recommends. You can say, what kind of tarot deck are you? What card sums up your personality? What issues or areas of life do you specialize in? How can you best help me? What quality is most important to the tarot reader? And finally, my favorite, how do you see our relationship? Many of you, each tarot deck that you own, many of us have many decks. Each is unique. And for me, when I like asking the deck, how do you see this relationship? Is this a deck that I use for everyday reading? Is this a deck I use for reading for clients? Is this a deck that I read for if I'm on a spiritual or an intuitive? I want to understand more with my spirit guides, that kind of thing. And I had a really good feeling about this deck, and that's why I bought it, because I'm going down a spiritual path to meet my guides. And this is kind of, well, a traditional Rider-Waite deck. It has many symbols, fantasy in the cards, Aboriginal symbols, animal symbols. All of these things are very spiritual, and I had a really good vibe with it. And that's why I bought the deck. So I think if you do that, spend time with your deck, and humor it or however you feel. But I think getting to know your deck is extremely important. And I think you'll enjoy this deck for an extremely long time. And I'm looking forward to asking my questions and drawing a card and seeing what relationship we're going to have. So thank you for listening to my video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you go out and buy Cathy's new deck. Thank you. Bye-bye.